Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh B'Shem Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the whole elect of Israel. All right, this lesson is going to be on, confusion of face. I'm going to show you some more examples. There's a Family Guy episode. I haven't watched that show in a long time, but I decided to watch that specific episode. It's like season 3, episode 14. I encourage you, Akayim, to watch that. It's so spiritual with confusion of face and also reincarnation because Peter finds out that he, up in his father's side, his lineage, he's actually black, so-called black man, which is him every time. So when he finds that out and he starts, acknowledging that, everybody treats him differently. The police officer, uh, the police officer, well, treats him, here, I'll show you. I'll get it. I'll show you, all right? I was going to do him, but let me get this. Um, I'll find it. It's a very spiritual episode, man.
You're that black guy I saw in the news conference, ain't you?
Yeah, that's me.
This is car 15. I'm gonna need backup. I've got a stolen vehicle here.
But this is my car.
Suspect's getting belligerent.
What?
Officer down.
Yeah, and it's funny, but it's really accurate, man. That it's so accurate. I don't even know, man. So, like I was saying, he found out he was up in his lineage that he's a so-called black person, which makes him a so-called Negro. Um, so he's a confusion of face, and he acknowledged that, and he was on the news and everything. So now the police are treating him different, and it's just like his whole world was turned upside down, man. And for me, I'm technically a confusion of face. I don't know if I'm from the southern or northern kingdom, but my great grandfather, my father's side, is actually a so-called Negro, or he looks like it at least. And my last name before my dad's adopted one is Gutierrez, so that's why I get confused if I'm Southern or Northern Kingdom. But I know I'm an Israelite because I'm in this truth and through father's side, right? But for him, it was much further up the lineage, and that's what you brothers need to understand, man. It's not always going to be your dad or your grandpa or your great grandfather that looks like a Negro or an Israelite. Sometimes it's way further up. It could be at the very beginning, and then eventually it started fading away, man. All right, look at Blake Griffin and his son, man. Blake Griffin's dad was dark, and then Blake Griffin, some people didn't even know he was so-called black, man. They thought he was white. And then his son definitely looks more white, man. And what about if his son were to have a baby with a white woman, man? It's lucky. You just got to go off the spirit. This is a guy who, a lot of people probably think he's white. If you go from skin tone, he's Klay Thompson. He's a shooting guard on the Warriors. He's probably one of my favorite NBA players. I don't really watch it that much, But in my free time, So other than his hair, he looks pretty white. Most people would actually think he's white, man. Even with his hair. All right? But this is why you don't go off looks. I gotta start it over.
assist.
Some way, somehow, they have to get the Kings off the line. And Clay, 8 for 8. Another three.
When you're hot, you get the shooter's roll.
String together stops. Keep adding to the lead. Keep finding Klay Thompson to the rim again.
A 24-point quarter.
Another steal.
Curry's going to find him.
Klay three. Yes, sir. Oh, man. 40. Ties his career high in threes. 1 point off his career best.
But a 27-point quarter. To me, that's more remarkable.
Thompson missing. Get it to Klay Thompson again. Crowd standing. Klay driving. Again. Good. Oh, you're kidding me. A new career high. 29 in the third. 42 in the game.
He's outscored the Kings 29-19 in this quarter.
Collison can't finish. McCallum the rebound. David Lee.
The Kings have 19. Clay has 29.
Get it to him again. He's got it. His three. Have you ever seen anything like it? The Warrior players are beside themselves. Are you kidding me?
Let me tell you this. He does not want the quarter to end. He'd rather just keep playing right into the fourth quarter. They pop him again.
Klay again, his three. 48-35 in the quarter. So the shot clock is off.
Livingston says, come back, hit the ball.
Clay's got it. Weaving through the Kings, and he's fouled. And now it'll be a free throws.
He can't miss. I've never seen a shooting display like this. Never.
He'll get 2 free throws for 50. And 37 possibly in the quarter. If you're wondering what the NBA record is for most points in a quarter, you just watched it. George Gervin in 33 in a quarter. And Klay Thompson
37 points in 1 quarter, man. Alone. All right. So I was never like a Warriors fan, but I just like Klay Thompson, man. He's a great player. It's underrated, but you see it. And what does his dad look like? That's his dad. See how white he looks compared to his father, and that's his dad, man. Or Blake Griffin. What about Blake Griffin? See, I don't know how people thought he looked white, cause look at that, man. Look how white they look compared to their father, man. Or what about his son? Look at this. But his son's an Israelite, man. It's confusion of face. It's a curse and a blessing, man. It's a blessing because if somebody tried to kill us, they wouldn't be able to know automatically by looks who Jake is. And Esau is carnal, man. As Israelites, we got to be spiritual. All right? So I'm going to get into the scriptures now. Daniel chapter 9, verse 7. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces, as at this day to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel that are near and that are far off, through all the countries whither thou hast driven them, because of their trespass that they have trespassed against thee. O Lord, to us belongeth confusion of face, to our kings, to our princes, and to our fathers, because we have sinned against thee. So what is sin? Transgression of the law. I showed you that in 1 John chapter 3, verse 4. And it's iniquity, and it's a terrible thing to intermarry, with another nation, whether you're a man or a woman of the nation of Israel, man. Marry within your nation, all right? But that doesn't mean that, you can't marry a confusion of face. And what is marriage in the Bible? Sex, man. But it doesn't mean that you can't marry a confusion of face. Men can have many wives and women can have one man, all right? That's all scriptural. Let's get one more. Or a couple more. First Ezra chapter 8, verse 70, for both they and their sons have married with their daughters, and the holy seed is mixed with the strange people of the land. And from the beginning of this matter, the rulers and the great men have been partakers of this iniquity. All right. Isaiah chapter 7 and 8. Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned. So pancakes, you don't flip it. It's going to be light on one side and dark on the other, man. And then I get one more. That's a closing one right here. Jeremiah 14, I think. No, it's 12. Jeremiah chapter 12, verse 9. Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye assemble, all the beasts of the field, come to devour. So speckled bird, you go into the word speckled. Another synonym is variated. So like color variated. All different shades, all right? So with that said, I want to give all praise to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the whole collective Israel. All right? Keep enduring. Shalom.